to give the reader a lifeline and something to hold on to after the read. But it's also full of humor too.
Now, the way you're telling us about, when you introduce yourself, I could see now, when you introduce yourself, I could see a full artist. You're a songwriter, you sing, you dance, you do so many things. You're acting, you're just coming back from your stage acting. You've done all these things. Then why did you decide to put it down? Why do you think story matters? Why do you think sharing your story really matters? Why did you make that decision to share your story with the world?
Well, first and foremost, I was a young carer. So I was looking after my young sister, and I started caring from the age of 2. And my younger sister, who's autistic, is only 11 months younger than me. So writing in the beginning was an escapism for myself. And because I struggled with my writing and arithmetic, because of being taken out of my classes to look after my sister, I had to use my own time to work out my homework. And I would do it in the most elaborative ways because I knew that I wouldn't get it right. So what I would do is make up extra stories within my homework so that I could tell the teacher, stand up and tell the teacher rather than presenting her with my written work, which I knew wouldn't be up to scratch. So the storytelling and the poems and the lyrical rhythm of my writing was brought on very early on as a disguise to my dyslexia.
Now, when I was actually asking there that as an author, when you're writing, what is it that when you're putting down your thoughts, when you're gathering all those thoughts and you're putting them down together, do you allow it to reflect in your culture? Does your culture reflect? Does who you are reflecting it? Does your belief reflect in it? Or is it all frictions? Is it just all imagination?
There is nothing in my writing that is fictional. Everything I write about is from life experience or work experience, but it's all true. Because it's an autobiography, obviously, it is my life. And even when I write poems to reflect people's life. I do it for weddings, birthdays, or anything like that. And it's all based on natural experience, cultural silences within the Black and Asian community, because we do have a lot of cultural silences which stops us from speaking.
Within the African Caribbean community.
Yes,
yeah, we do.
That's right. Yeah.
Now tell me, give us the names of your book. I know you've written more than one book. So tell us the name of your first 2 books, which is the ones you wrote yourself. And then you can share with us your collective book as well, so that people that knows you as an author might want to read other books that you've been part of as well.
Okay. Well, my autobiography starts with the first book, which is here. It's called They Never Saw Me. And the second one is called I Don't Know Who I Am, which is here.
I was looking at that on the Amazon website just now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, they're both on Amazon website and also on Waterstones.
Okay.
And they are in paperback and in Kindle form.
So people can download the Kindle to read it.
They can download the Kindle as well, yes.
And read it.
Definitely.
Now,
and the collaboration book is very now, as it were, because it's called Life in a Lockdown 2020 Behind Closed Doors. The key author of that, her name is Dee Bailey, and the book was written by 22 women, me being one of them, and my chapter is chapter 9.
So if anybody wants to go and read Janet Barrett,
yes,
am I right? Yeah. If they want to read that, just go straight to chapter 9 and they'll find you. Now, I know you're going to put all the details for us in the chat box so that we can share them with our audience and people can see it and, they can go and start grabbing the copies to read and, to be part of this, your journey together with you. Because you see, people that read our book, they come in a journey with us. Because from the moment they open the book and they start reading it, they start reflecting you. It just changes. You become part of their life in so many ways. And that is the joy of being a writer. So I said that as an author, we have discrepancies between authors. What kind of author do you think you are?
I would describe myself as an author of truth, because I believe that authenticity is the best way that you can describe or write in. I haven't got the kind of imagination that can just run something off. I believe in being as totally authentic as possible, because I do a lot of acting which is false. So when I write, I would prefer my writing to be of truth and of value of my own experience. And because of the mental health issues that I deal with, I like to have complete transparency when I'm dealing with people, so that I can resonate with them and have common ground with them. But I do fictional as a pastime. I can write fictional things to joke around with and everything. People that know me know that I'm quite a bubbly character, quite a humorous character. So that's where my fictional side will come in. But that's another one of my personalities, which is called Machete. So I do, I have a few.
You know what I'm going to say? You need to bring up a book called Machete. You need to use all those your characters and turn them into a book.
Well, with my characters, I actually do plays. I do one-woman shows. So a lot of my characters come out with sketches that I do, and I do performance poetry. So a lot of that comes out in that way. So it's visual rather than
but you have to understand that the world is changing now. So put them in a book, and people can just sit back in their homes and read them, even if we don't have your.
I'm currently writing. Yeah. I'm currently writing my third book, which has got a lot of my personalities in there. So yeah,
that's fantastic. So each of them could take up a chapter.
Yeah, they could.
When you said Machete, I'll be running away then. So now, even from talking to you, you could see the love, you could see the joy, you could see the excitement. It shows even naturally, it's just coming out in that kind of a way. What I want to say is that, you've written 2 books of yours. You've collaborated with other authors. Yeah. If somebody picks up your book today and say they want to read, so let's say, for example, your first book, which I want you to repeat the name of your first book. You were talking about They Never Saw Me. Now, something stand out for me again when you're talking. With the first person when I was chatting with Pauline did talk about having go through cancer. Now I'm talking to you again. You have another different story entirely, talking about mental health. Mental health has been, something within our own community as African Caribbean that we don't really speak about. It was something within our own community that we don't believe it's happening. That it doesn't exist. There's nothing like that, because the world has so much giving us this narrative that we are just too strong. We're not supposed to feel anything. Yes, we're strong. We're hardworking people, but doesn't mean that we don't have experiences that to share. Do you want to just give us a little bit about who are you? Because you said they don't know me. They don't, who are you? And tell us a little bit about how did you survive those experiences?
Well, like he says, to repeat the titles, the first book is called They Never Saw Me. The second book is called I Don't Know Who I Am. So within the first book, I am the 6th child out of 7. And either side of me was my younger sister, who was autistic, and my older sister, who had wobbly legs, bronchitis. She was always sickly. So I was in the middle of these 2 imperfect siblings. So I was always overlooked. I had to look after one and I had to watch out for the other. Yet I had another few other sisters who were older, and I had a brother. But they were not given a responsibility that I was from the age of 2 looking after an autistic sister. I mean, looking after someone with autism as an adult is difficult enough. But all through your school years, because we shared the same year at school, she's an August baby, I'm a September baby, all the way through school, it was a disruptive time of bullying and things like that. So I was in trouble. So I was always overlooked. So all I did through this book was try to explain who I was. And I want to be seen. Hello, I know you want me to look after this one, and you're talking about this one, and I'm fighting for this one, I'm protecting that one. But look at me. Don't forget me. I am somebody. So all the way through that, and during my very, very young years, because of abuse, at the back of the They Never Saw Me book 1 has a 18 certificate. So there's some graphic and strong content material in there. So within that book, I actually wrote another part of the story saying why I chose to write rather than block. And that is something that people question all the time. Why would you go and tell about your dirty laundry and try to shame your family and things like this? So I put it in an actual small book, why I chose to write rather than block, because my sanity was more important than what people would think about me. I wanted to survive. I needed to survive. And the only way I could do it was by writing it out and speaking. Because sometimes when you speak it out loud to begin with, it becomes so real, you cannot take it. But if you write it down to begin with, and it's bled out bit by bit, and people ask questions, it gives you a little crack in the door to start speaking bit by bit and open up. And I actually called my writing my morphine drive, because it gave me an essence of pain relief, just enough bit by bit to numb my traumatic childhood to adulthood experiences.
Thank you so much for that. It's just, I was just listening there, and I was just like, saying it will be a difficult time to feel that you're not being seen. And I'm hoping, I've not read your book, and I'm hoping to read it even from that, that you don't blame your parents for their actions. You don't, I just hope so, because I'm sure they do love you and they do care about you, and they will be happy to see, they want you to be seen. I strongly believe that. And I'm talking as a mother, and we get so many things wrong sometimes.
I understand that. But to begin with, because I lost my parents 35 years ago. So my parents didn't teach us anything. So I had all these questions: what ifs, maybes, and could haves. Why was I treated that way? Why was I beaten? Why? But they'd gone before I was adult enough to start asking these questions, before I was on a level that I could speak openly to my parents. When I became a parent, because I have 3 children of my own and 3 grandchildren, but I nursed my mother and I nursed my father. So I was caring before I knew I was even female, before I knew about anything. It was care, and more care. So I could never be me. So in order for me to understand who I was, I had to investigate who they were and where I fit into the family and everything else. So it was a long journey, a 30-year journey.
So there's still more book to come.
Oh yes.
And even and looking at it, when you were saying that it was all caring, it was, you were trying to find yourself in between that. what came to my mind was that even though you were trying to find yourself, even though it was a lot of journey, you found yourself at last.
Yes.
Also, yeah.
Yes.
And I know it will have been a hard journey, but I believe you found yourself somehow.
Yes,
you know.
I certainly have. I've come to the completion of myself, because in the last book I say I have a chapter, finally free to be me. And after doing the 2 books, I actually just last month on World Mental Health Awareness Day, the 10th of October, I put my 2 books together and created a play. So not only have I written about my life, I've actually displayed it. And the play was delivered live. It wasn't a Zoom, it was live.
So it was a stage play.
It was a stage play.
What is the title of the play?
The play,
is it something we can watch again? Is it?
It will be repeated. The play is called Joseph versus Barrett. The Case of Joseph versus Barrett. Joseph was my maiden name. Barrett, of course, is my marriage name I have now. And it was the adult speaking to the child.
To the child, yeah.
To say, basically, you've come through, and all the things that you've come from, all the memories, and say, look where you are now.
Now, look where you are now. Yeah. And I think, I was thinking again, when you were talking about finding yourself, which is part of the reason where we say story do matters a lot. And that is the reason why we're saying share your story. Let people know, because that is where you can inspire other people. I was just thinking to myself there that, when you were forming those characters, you were actually trying to be you.
Yes.
Yes. And as at that time, you remember, like, okay, you're acting out, but you're acting out that part of you that is being hidden, that you were not allowed to really display it.
That's right.
And it comes in different characters. And I felt that all along you've been seen. It might not be by the right people that you want to see you, but you've been seen. And it is a joy, It is a joy speaking to you to see that you, even with all those things, you're able to give love. Yeah. You're able to give love. Because if you have not been able to give those love to your parents, even if you now know the reason, the why now, there will be a sadness to that.
Definitely.
So, when we have those opportunities, I lost my dad, like it's going to 7 years ago now. Mm-hmm. And when it was when I came into Europe that I started working within the, caring community, caring sector. And while my father was a bit sick, I was here. I couldn't travel immediately back. And I always question it, I always I say to myself, I wish I was there. I wish I could clean his face. I wish I could give him a bath. I wish I could do this. But I was lucky my sister was with him. And, when she's shaving him, she showed me, oh, she's shaving him. She's doing this. And I feel jealous that she had to do that, not me. I didn't have the opportunity to show him how much I love him. And this type of parents that we have, that they are not used to when you tell them, I love you. When I tell my dad I love you, it's like, okay, this idea of saying they don't do all this, I love you, all those things. My mom is getting used to it now. But it took him a while, even though, we come from an educated family, but they don't express their love in that kind of a way. There's so many ways they express their love. They just believe automatically, they love them anyway. They don't have to say it. So anyway, it's good to chat with you. It's good to talk to you. It's good to have this opportunity. Now, this is what I want you to do for us, because of those people that will be watching you, people that are listening, people that are wondering that, who is this person? We want to get to know her more. She's full of everything. She has everything in her. What do you want people to take away? One, I want you to tell us what you would like people to enjoy or to see when they read your book. One. Two, and to the people out there that might be either going through mental health issue, having emotional breakdown, say something to them.
Yeah, because my journey started from the age of 2 to the age of 32. Sorry, let me put my... To the age of 32, some people have a traumatic journey and they think, okay, they've been in it for a year, you know, or 2 years, and they think, I'll never get out of this. Well, listen to me. 30 years looking after a sibling, looking after 2 parents, and then they died, having twins and losing 1, sleeping rough, being in a refuge, being beaten, beaten and beaten and beaten, being sexually abused as a child from a family member. However, I became the best carer there is in the community. I have written about my story. I have survived my story. And just as daylight comes after night, your light will come if you believe in yourself and see the things that others see in you. Because when we are going through trauma, we don't see anything good. It's just bad. And we feel bad about ourselves. We feel bad about everyone else. But try to listen to what people are saying about you and believe in what they say and believe that you will get through.
Now, if somebody pick up your book and read, what do you want them to enjoy in that?
I want them, my publisher, Marcia M. Spence, she turned a dyslexic, discombobulated woman with many, many talents inside into a polished, published author. So if you're feeling that you cannot write, if you're feeling that you cannot get through something, there are people that can untangle you. The Marcia M. Spence Publishing House can untangle you and polish you because you are a rough diamond and they will let you shine. With me, the woman I am now, in comparison to the woman I was in 2015 when I started to put all of my writings together to write my book, and I delivered my manuscripts, all 3 of them in one go to Marcia and said, do something with that. And she did. And she did. She's a remarkable specimen of a woman, a formidable woman that can untangle the most deepest of a web. And I am who I am today because of her and her team and having faith in me and, of course, God Almighty.
Thank you so much for
You're welcome.
for those lengthy, sharing all those sharing with us your journey. It is exciting for me to see the opportunity to that you can share those journey with us.
Thank you.
And I was just, I'm looking at your pictures now, and many people out there, many people are looking at you. I can see you live. I can see your picture. When I first saw this picture, I picked it because of your lips. You know, the way you pump up the lips out, and I was like, I said, I'll go for this. I said, this is what I'll go for.
I wish you had one with me and my husband there, because that without my husband, I'm nothing. I'm
no, you have something. So story do matters for every one of you that is out there, that is watching us on YouTube, watching us on Facebook. Story do matters. It do matters a lot. Yeah. Janety Barrett, aka MS Lyrics B, says to you, go and pick our book up now, so that you can get to know her and get to know her more. Thank you very much for celebrating the African History Month with us. Thank you for celebrating the African Author Day. Thank you for being you, being a Caribbean, sharing who you are with us. We really love that. And I'm hoping that, you are good. I'm hoping to meet you soon.
Oh, that would be lovely. Thank you.
I'm looking, that was a time actually, we were hoping that all the authors are going to come down to Highland. We're going to have a big event, an adventurous time, and we are still going to do that. We'll bring you guys over to Highland and just enjoy. I know the world seems as if it's never going to happen, but I'm hoping it's going to happen soon.
Oh yes.
So thank you very much. We're going to have a short break now. For those of you that are watching us, just stay with us and enjoy the rest of the authors. So I still have authors in the house. I still have 2 more authors coming up to share with you all. So stay with us. Don't go away. We're just having a short break.
Thank you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we are back again. We're back again live. We are here. We have different type of authors in the house that are sharing with you. We're celebrating the African History Month here in Ireland. We're celebrating our authors, the African Caribbean authors. We are saying that story do really matters. And we want you to continue listening to us, enjoy, send your questions to us on Facebook, on YouTube. Let us know what you're thinking and we can get those questions answered. Thank you very much. Now, I have the next person that is coming on board. All the authors has been talking, they've been talking about this person. I'm talking about Marcia M. Spence. She's the CEO, executive director, whatever you are going to call her, of the Marcia M. Publishing House. She's done so much with our creativities, with her talents, with her business. She's here to talk to us. She's here to share with us. Now, Marcia, are you ready to share with the world? Can you unmute yourself so that we can hear you?
Sorry. Yes, I'm ready.
Fine. Yeah.
I'm ready, Susanna.
Now, introduce yourself to us.
Okay, I'm Marcia Spence. If you write my name, say Marcia M. Spence, but I do like hearing people say Marcia M. Spence.
Yes, that is what I do. Marcia M. Spence. Yeah.
Yeah. I run Marcia M. Publishing House, and we also recently launched an academy for writers and authors of influence, where what we want to do is equip our authors to be successful in terms of raising their profile. We want them to be successful in terms of the quality of the books that they're writing. And also we want them to generate sales and make a good return on the investment that they made in getting their books published. We provide support to our authors from conception right through to delivery of the books, hence particularly Pam, but my authors have branded me, the authors, a midwife for them. Everyone will say, what does the M stand for? And I won't tell them. But however, Jeanette will call me M as in James Bond, the M in James Bond. And Pam Haynes titled me the midwife. One of my first authors, Vicky Ngampsha, she calls me mummy. So, and my other brand is that from my first book, is that I am also Geraldine's Pearl. Geraldine was my grandmother, who was my best friend. And as a little girl, I spent a lot of my time with my grandma. She was an active leader in the community. I grew up seeing my grandmother run Partners, which is savings clubs, Caribbean Saving Club. She gave food. She was a seamstress. She baked cakes, and she worked from home. So I grew around her feet, seeing her running her home businesses and serving her community, leading in the church. And she was an amazing songstress. So when she passed away, which was 9 years ago now, she always told me, Marcia, you are a pearl of great price. And I didn't know what that meant. And I thought, I know grandma's telling me something nice to encourage me. So especially if I had problems in my relationships, I've been married twice. And grandma would say, Marcia, you are a pearl of great price. When she passed away, we were going through the Bible, we were preparing for her funeral. And I came across the scripture in Matthew 13, I think it's verse 44 to 47, that says, and it's the parable of the pearl. So I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah.
So it says, the merchants were seeking fine pearls, but when they found the pearl of great price, they sold everything that they had so that they could buy that pearl. That was how special my grandmother was telling me that I am. My grandmother's name was Geraldine. So my title for my book is Geraldine's Pearl, because I am Geraldine's Pearl. She nurtured me, she taught me, and my work, I left my job not long after my grandmother died to go into self-employment, and it all started with the pearl. So even when you see my brand has evolved over the years, because it's been 8 years. If you see those circles with the M's in, the circles are to represent the pearls and to honor my grandmother in what she instilled in me through her words. But while she was alive, I didn't receive the message. Once she'd passed away, the message, I think through my grief, the message just penetrated me and helped me to start my real journey. And I was 44 years of age then. And I could then start my journey of self-love, understanding my value, understanding that I am super special. It's not been an easy road since then. Since then, I've been plagued with illnesses. However, I have continued to press on, because what I believe is that this work that I do, which I don't even call work, it's my passion and it's my purpose to serve people, to enable them to tell their stories. So as Jeanette described, with Jeanette's book, I'm going to tell the truth. We sent Jeanette's book to 4 editors, and 3 of the editors sent it back because they couldn't work. Number one, they couldn't working with a manuscript written by someone with dyslexia. But not only that, the content of the story was, Jeanette needed specialist care and specialist work. And because I am a trained coach, I'm also, I was a social worker, but just my natural nature is to serve, to nurture, to take care of people, to enable them to do what I did 5 years ago. So now I am so thankful that, and I'm thankful to the authors who are here, who I have worked with. I'm very thankful for you. I'm thankful that you have given me the opportunity to work with you. You have helped me to grow. So do not fear when you ask me a question and I might not know the answer. I'll go and find out. And as you are developing, I have been developing, you know, and what I can see for my authors, and when I see them, the events and what's happening, the profile, the awards that they win, you know, I just feel that gives me so much just joy and pleasure. So that's my introduction. It's a bit long, but it's just straight from the heart.
Exactly. So because I knew that, I had to let you do that.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Thank you.
it's a moment, and you need to have that moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is what makes us, you know, storytellers. Because everything we say is like telling a story, you know, and we're pouring ourselves out. Now, what I want you to do for me is this. Tell us about your own first book that you publish yourself.
Yes.
Tell us the
actually,
name.
Right. So interestingly, Geraldine's Pearl was not the first book that I wrote. However, I first wrote a book in 2012, which was a workbook and audio book for life planning. It was called A New Year, New Life. Now, with that book, the way that I worked that book, am I coming on screen or?
Yes, you are coming on screen. Yeah.
Am I on screen? Yeah. Yes. Okay. Because this lipstick was for the screen, you know, made sure I got ready. Okay. We might be wearing off now. But so I wrote that in 2012. And what I did, I just printed those. And I had the audio. I used my brother-in-law's studio and recorded the audio guidance for the book. And we printed CDs at that time. And so we had CDs that, along with the book, and I sold them. And that was fantastic. I didn't go through selling it on Amazon, but I am planning to republish that. But my memoir is the one that you want to hear about. This is Geraldine's Pearl, and that's a photograph of me on the front, a full length one. Now, I just have to talk about the significance of the full length photograph. So I have, I believe that I have at some point in my life suffered with body dysmorphia, in the sense that I was so slim and small when I had my first baby and my second baby. But because I was an athlete, and as an athlete, I could eat anything I wanted to eat because I was a runner, I was a hurdler, I was a high jumper. I had my babies and I probably gained about a stone. So from being this, which is really not anything, however, the way that I felt, because I stopped then doing sport, I felt like I was huge. And because all of my life, I could eat what I wanted because I would run, I didn't have to think about what I eat. So I continued to eat in that same way and gained some weight. So then I struggled with the middle part of my body because I have a boyish athletic figure naturally, but when I gained weight, I became apple shape. This is all relevant because what I'm speaking about is in my book, it's about confidence. It's about confidence. And that was one of the issues for me in terms of my confidence. And I wouldn't show full length pictures. So this, even the cover was a statement because it had to be full length because I'd reached a place where I'm no longer going to hide myself. my issue with body dysmorphia was so bad, and this is the truth, my authors don't even know this, and I'm doing the revised version of my book, and we're putting extra chapters in, and this is where I will be delving into things that I hinted on in the first book, but I'm going to give more detail. So what my body dysmorphia, so my thoughts about the way that I look was so bad, I would just want to hide. So if I went to a party or a club, I love going out, dressing up, and I looked good. When I look back at the photos, I looked amazing, you know. Yet at that time, my mind told me, hide. So I would go to a party and I would go stand in the corner. And I loved the music and I loved the atmosphere. And I would be out with my friends and my sisters, and they would be in the middle of the dance floor. However, I wouldn't join them. And it's not because I can't even dance. So when I'm at home, it was about, I was so self-conscious that I didn't want anyone to look at me. I didn't want anyone we spoke about my nose earlier. I disliked my nose so much. I disliked this little bit of extra weight that I'd put on. And I didn't want anyone to look at me at all. And I hid for 10 years. I worked, I did my job, I studied, I looked after my children, but for myself, I hid myself. I would go shopping with my sisters, buy glamorous clothes, and then I didn't have the confidence to wear them. They were my taste. I'd give them away. I'd give my leopard skin coat to my sister, another big fur coat to a friend, you know, some short, tight-fitted, glamorous cocktail dresses. So even with my book launch, and I was 48 years of age at that time, I wore a short cocktail dress, fitted, lacy, with feathers. And again, that was a statement. It was part of my story and part of my journey about confidence. I showed all my legs were showing. The dress fitted on my body. It showed you could see my tummy, but I looked amazing. And it was a statement. And that dress had sat in my wardrobe for 5 years. I didn't have the confidence to wear it. So if anyone sees my book launch photographs, that's what all of that is all about. So that was my background. And so this is about, I'm talking to you about my book.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Okay. I wanted, you're giving us a lot into that, which is great.
Yeah.
Now, what I want you to do, because you've said so much about it.
Talk about publishing.
Now, I know that is your first book. Now you've written all the books.
I have. I've
tell us about your second book.
This was my book too. This was my first, I suppose, published work.
Now, do you want to just hold it just for 2 seconds?
A minute. Yeah.
The seconds will be okay.
That long enough? Yeah. And then this is my second book, which is a collaborative book, and it's about confidence. And so I wrote the first chapter. I also wrote the foreword. I selected people to be in the book, including people who work with women, counselors and coaches, as well as we had a girl who was 13. We had another girl who was 16. We even had my mum in it, who was 70 at the time. And that was an honor for me. And my daughter was the 16-year-old. That was a fantastic experience for us. We became a #1 bestseller in 2 categories, which was children's nonfiction, teen books and growing up facts of life, and also in self-help, motivation and counseling.
Wow.
So we achieved that on the day from the day it was released. And I also had the honor of making my mum a published author at the age of 70.
70.
And it's just wonderful that I have the opportunity to share what I've learned to enable other people to be elevated and uplifted. And then I'm also in your book, Sam. I wrote a foreword for your book.
Yeah.
I am also in another book. I am also in another book called Revival, Women Embracing Their Superpowers. And I am also in another book, which is due to be released in December, which is called When Grace Found Me, for Women of Faith. And in that book, I tell another element of my story about my teenage years.
Thank you so much. You've told us about 2 books. You've told us about the authors that you've worked with, you know.
Loads of authors, look, just books,
Yeah.
books. I got books everywhere.
You are a publisher. You are a publisher. So much is expected. Now tell me about your, somebody is asking a question and I want you to explain to us. You know, you mentioned about your auto book, video book projects.
Yes, the audio one.
The audiobook project. So tell us about that audiobook project. Who are the
how I did it?
Yeah.
Okay. So I wanted to, so with what I did, I created the book first. So at that time, I was a coach and I used to run seminars for men and women. And I would run seminars for men and women, but I would coach specifically women on a one-to-one basis. So whilst I was running my seminars, I used to run the seminar called A New Year, New Life. And I devised a whole year's evaluation of your life and how you can then plan for the next year. And myself and my daughter, actually, we use it still every New Year's Eve. If we don't go out, we stopped going out now. We do our evaluation of our year. So I designed the book. And also, then I decided that because I wanted people to engage with me, so I used a producer who has a studio. And what I did, I wrote the script for the guidance to use the book. So I would go to the studio and each section, and it was recorded. And I still have it on MP3 that people could have. And I still have the whole books that people could have.
And so you have to give me one.
I'll have to send
Let
you.
me get it in there.
Yeah, I will do. So what happens is, because I was a coach and I use a certain style when I'm coaching, a certain voice. So on the CD, I wish I had one to hand. I can't find my other things, but there's so many books in this office. However, so what I do is it guides the user. So the audio is the guidance. So you'll listen to the audio and then you write in the book and do what you need to do. And then you can go back and listen. So I worked with a producer. I went to the studio and did the recording. I am now looking at what we are doing now as a publishing house. Is I have been interviewing audio book providers to look for them to partner with me, because I recognize that many people want audio books, and I know that my authors want to get their books out in audio, and there's a whole realm of readers who read by listening, and that's an untapped market for us, and it's time for us to tap it. So we are getting ourselves together to be able to organize audiobooks and get them onto Audible and iTunes and also on Amazon, and people can access them. I hope that's answered your question. With my CDs,
I hope it answered the question for the person that asked the question.
Okay, did that? Okay, great.
So yeah, so somebody was asking, how soon are you going to be producing your audiobook package?
Do you mean the package for clients to buy?
For the audio,
Yeah, I
for
would.
the audiobook.
Yeah, for audiobooks. We are in talks now, and it's possibly going to be March 2021.
That is fantastic.
Yeah. What
Now,
we're going to do, I'll tell you what we're doing now. We're going to do a test pilot on a couple of books. And I did speak to someone, and I thought that their book would be great to do a test on. So we want to do some test piloting with it, so that before we start to market it, we know what we're doing. So yeah, by March, I'm saying March is the latest date that I want to do it, because it's definitely
especially with
what we're working on
all
at the
the
moment.
restrictions, especially with all the restrictions. So
Yeah,
we hope it just happened then.
Yeah, the main company that we're talking to is in the US, and I'm also speaking to a couple of companies in Birmingham. But if anyone knows of audiobook providers, I want to partner with them to deliver the packages for my clients, and for all clients who want to come and get a package like that.
That is fantastic, and I'm hoping a lot of people are listening. Or somebody will pick up on this, and then they will stay in contact with you. They can contact me if you want to. You. Yeah. So I want to say you've spoken to us about your books, your your authors that you've worked with, your life experiences. Out of all these things that you've said to us, what is it really that you want us to take away
from me, and from me in terms of writing?
In terms of writing, what is it that you want? And I want it to be very short, and then
that's fine.
Yeah, and then I want you to end it with telling us you have your own personal life experiences. You were talking about
I do lots.
And your challenges, because I've seen nearly everyone you have been talking about. How do you get up every morning? How do you still get up every morning and do all this?
The way that I am made is I have a purpose, and I have a drive and a motivation to serve. So if I make a commitment, even if it takes me 3 years to do it, if I make a commitment to do something, I like to be a woman of my word. That is my brand. And if I'm never able to meet my word, that I have disappointed myself. In terms of writing, some people used to say, oh, only certain people can write. My belief and our ethos and our values within Marcia M Publishing House is that everyone can be nurtured to write a great book. If you have a story, if you have an idea, get it down on paper. If you can't get it down on paper, record it. We offer such a flexible service. Some of our authors just record. So whatever position you're in, if you have an idea to publish and write a book, we will welcome you. We will support you. It's a difficult journey. And remember, I am a midwife. And for those of you who've had children, you know that sometimes you go to your appointment and the midwife gives you a disappointing news and you're upset. Think about in delivery, you get angry, you think the midwife's telling you what to do, but you want to do it your way. Stop, pant, and all of that. There's all of those processes involved in publishing a book. So believe in your story. Your story is important. Your ideas are important. Each one of us is here for a reason. And don't hide your message. Let your message be a gift to the world. Find the right people to work with, people who care, who have a passion for what they do. When I started this has been going for some time, and I am amazed that we work globally now. And how do I do it? I'm disabled. I have a disability. I sometimes, throughout the last 12 months, has been a struggle. What I'm going to say now is, listen, if you find your purpose, you find something that you're passionate about, you find something that you love, and you work with people that you love too. So find those people, attract those people to you, and then you deliver. So there have been, and also in terms of a team, find a team that's committed, find a team who are prepared to learn. Susanna, my final statement is this, and I just want to tell you about this. This publishing house is delivering to many people, and we are now attracting, we've always attracted high profile, driven authors. When I was ill, I've been ill, I'm just getting over my illness that I'm even able to use my hands. So there were months I couldn't use my hands. There were months I couldn't walk. There were months I was just in pain. My team, they came to my home. They sat on the floor with laptops around my bed while I've got cushions, and, you know, I always have a beanie bag in case I've got pain, heat it up, get it on my shoulder, put my hand, I wear a back brace sometimes, but when I was in bed, they are sitting around my bed and doing the work. And if they have a question, I'm there to answer the question. I know, do you know, I just feel I've just been so blessed to do this. And I'm blessed by each and every person that comes for me to serve. So even when I am broken and ill, God has found a way for me to deliver. And we are a team who we've become a family as a team, and we are committed. We get things wrong at times, but we do our best to correct that. But you learn through making mistakes, don't you, Susanna? We all learn.
We all learn.
Susanna, compassion is the most important word, and empathy. And I'm going to end now and just say to you also, Susanna, thank you very much. I'm going to say it now on the live because I want to, and I think it's important. When I came to Ireland, and after Pam had gone, I wasn't feeling, I was staying with you, and I was at your home, and I was feeling ill. And you gave me your bedroom, you gave me your bed, you gave me your television, you brought me food, lovely plantain and nuts, and I lay in your bed that you gave me and slept off that. I think it was like a migraine, and I slept it off to prepare for my flight. And I just want to thank you for that, because that was truly beautiful, you know, and I do feel that bonded us as sisters. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Marcia. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
You know, it is a joy to get to know you. It's a joy to, you know, it's getting to know you was by accident, but it was a joy to get to know you, you know.
Yes.
And it's a privilege to be on this platform with you today. I've
Thank you for
learned a lot
inviting us.
with you. Yes. Yeah. And
I've
learned, you know, when I asked you that question, that how do you get to do this? Because, you know, I've seen a lot of your pains, and for you to still, you know, keep doing this, it's marvelous. And I have to say again, I've been in one of your evenings. Do you remember one of your ladies' evening when you guys are talking ladies' time? Yes. I think Pauline was there talking about her boy. There were so many people talking about their Johnny, I was like, okay, I was just
Yeah.
listening. It's good to
Yeah.
fall in love. You know, when you're in love, it is
Yeah.
a beautiful thing. And it's always good to
Yeah.
share it with, to share that with everyone.
Yes.
Thank you for bringing your authors around, to share this with everyone. Thank you for sharing with us. Thank you for your love, your kindness, your generosity. Thank you for coming into my home, because it's not everybody that takes that opportunity to come in. And not everybody appreciates, what is significant when you bring somebody into your home. Not just bringing them into your home, when you displace yourself for them to be comfortable.
Yes, and you did. I remember your son. Your son usually likes to have the Netflix, but you gave it to me.
It is love.
So thank you.
Love. So thank you so much. I'm delighted to share this moment with you. And I know that I was hoping to publish my book myself, and you were telling me, let me do it for you. I'm thinking about it.
Well, we can talk about.
We'll talk about it.
Listen, where I am at now in terms of everything is collaboration and partnerships.
Yes.
So we can talk.
We'll talk. Because, and thank you as well for doing the forwarding for my latest book, which is the Spotlight Women. It was great. And it's not easy, like you were saying, that we do get things wrong. And I do remember I sent you in so many things. You read through the book, you were like, oh, no, I'm not going to do this forwarding for this book. Go and correct this, go and do this, go and do that. Even though, I didn't take, even though I am a publisher myself, I coach other people, but I didn't see it. I tell people, when people correct you, you have to always look at the positive side of it. When people tell you you're wrong, don't see it as a challenge. Don't see it as hatred. See it as a challenge for you to do better. Because when you see it as a challenge, exactly, and that is what it is. So thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
We are going to go on a just very short break again. And then while we bring in our last speaker for the evening, and I said last but not the least, we save the best to the last. So thank you so much.
This is an amazing book. We don't do many fiction books. Oh, we're off.
We are having a break for a moment.
That's fine. Let's have a break. What time is it? Because I'm meant to be on something else. Let's see. Dee Bailey. Yeah. Thank you, Sam.
Yes, we're back again, everyone. We're back onto the African History Month. We are celebrating Africans here in Ireland. We're celebrating African. We're celebrating our culture. We're celebrating our heritage. We're celebrating our food. We're celebrating our fabric. We have so much to celebrate all through the month. It's a whole month full of celebration. We are profiling. We are projecting. We are trying to get, projecting the positive image of African Caribbeans living here. Join us. It is a time of celebration of what it is to be African. We are proud Africans, and we are here to celebrate. Today, again, like I said, I have with me, this is our African Caribbean Authors Days. We are celebrating authors from African, from Caribbean. We are celebrating their creativity, their work, and their story. We say, Ash, story do matters. So this is Ash Story Matters with Susanna, a time to share your story with me, a time to share your story with the world. So I'm bringing on my next author. I hope you're ready, Sabrina. I call her Glency Fancy. She's also known as Sabrina. Sabrina, are you ready for us?
Hi.
Hi, Sabrina. It is good to have you on board. How are you doing? I know you've been waiting for so long, but we are now here with you. So how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Now, introduce yourself to us.
Hi, I'm Sabrina. My government name is Glenise Spacey, and my alias is Sabrina. I was given that name by my grandmother, of all people. I'm 34, and I'm blessed to be here.
Thank you so much. Thank you. No, that is the smile I want to see. That is the smile I want to see. So now tell us, Sabrina, Glency, I was calling you Glency Fancy. So tell us about that name, Glency.
Glenise Spacey.
Yeah, Glency Fancy. Yeah.
It was given to me that's my birth name. That's the name of my mother. That my mother gave me. I think she met a Swedish lady in a hair salon, and that was the lady's name, and she liked it, and that was it. She didn't even know how to spell it or anything. She just ran with it and made it her own thing. So I've been called a lot of different versions of Glenise, except for the actual way my mother spells it.
Now, you are an author. So what is it to be called an author? Tell us, how do you feel when somebody calls you an author?
I feel pride. I know it's a simple thing to feel pride, but I feel nothing but proud and prideful and joyous. I just feel amazed that, I've come so far and this is who I am now. Within my family, I'm the least likely to succeed. So to know that I have succeeded at this, something that I'm passionate about and something that I love doing, because I love to read. So to know that I can give something to someone else for them to enjoy is amazing. It's now become who I am. It consumes me now.
For a minute, I'm going to put the spotlight on Marcia. She's showing us the book, Family First. Yeah, you can leave it there for a couple of minutes. Yeah. Can you give us back the front? Yeah, Family First. So that is the name of the book. We are going to put the link on our social media. Guys, those of you watching us on social media, you have an opportunity to go and click the link and grab a copy. Tonight, grab a copy, everyone. We want you to grab a copy. So yes, Family First. Now tell me, why did you name it Family First? What is the story behind that name, Family First?
The story, it came to actually the book itself went through various names because it's based on three triplets. The family has always been very close to me, and it's been something that I always feel that even in the world when everyone else fails you, your family should be there for you, and mine has through my darkest times. So the title was me acknowledging my family and my family acknowledging me for who I am. And it was me paying homage to my family, saying thank you, thanking them for everything that they've helped me, they've brought me through my darkest time. So the title is just dedication to my own family, that I will be always putting them first as they have put me first in life.
Yeah. So now tell me, if somebody picks the book and they want to read it, today, what is it about that book that they will see that they just keep reading it?
Well, let's just say I've had many people say, "Oh, the title doesn't fit the cover," or "Oh, it looks very erotic." Yes, it is erotic. It has a small bit of erotica in there, as it is about relationships. But it's generally about a family of triplets who overcame hardship, the death of their mother, their grandmother having to leave Jamaica to come and look after them, being orphans for a while. But yet still they've made it and they've accomplished so much in life that now they don't need anyone other than their immediate siblings, which their mother instilled into them as to always take care of your family first, which my grandmother instilled in us as children to always put our family first, always put my brothers and my sisters first. Never mind your mother or your father, put your brother and sister first. So that's why the book is based around the three triplets putting each other first. And when one steps out of line, it becomes drama filled, and there's so much going on. It's literally you're reading and it's an action movie in your foresight. So yeah, once you, the first page alone grabs you straight away.
It just grabs you away. So yeah, so what you're saying to people out there is at the moment they just pick it up and they start reading it, they don't want to stop. They just want to keep going.
You start reading, it's one of those kaboom moments, you know, like as soon as you open the page, there's action.
So it's about family. Yeah.
You don't have to wait for the drama. There's just action straight away.
So it's about family, it's about sibling, it's about love, it's everything all together.
Every single thing. And there's more to come. This book is actually going to be a series, as I've written book 2 already and book 3. So it's going to be a series. I'm not sure how far I'm going to take it yet, but I know there's more to come for this book. And I'm also working on at the moment individual standalone books. So there's a lot more to come from me. This is my first one, and I'm expecting great things from it. And with Marcia's help, I know I'm going to get there.
So tell me, where can we get it?
You can find it on Waterstones, or at the moment it's on Waterstones, at Amazon, eBay. So just, or you say, find me on social media if you want to get it on there, or contact Marcia, either way.
Either way, people can get it. Now, it's been delightful talking to you. It's been a joy. And I know you've told us about your book. And part of you is within those books. But just give us a little bit more about who is Sabrina.
Me, I'm a recluse. When growing up, I was very ill. I was a very ill child, but you would never be able to tell. I was so outgoing, so outspoken. You could not tell that I had a heart condition. Because every time the doctor would say, you need to slow down, you need to stop, you need to stay in, you need to relax. No, I was outside climbing trees. I grew up in Jamaica, so I was always jumping over something, falling over, scraping something. I was that kid that the neighbors would be shouting at, get down, stop doing what you're doing. I was always that naughty kid, or this kid that's trying to get your son and daughters to go up the tree. So, but now I'm more, as an adult, I'm more calm and more, more relaxed, and using my words on paper has given me that inner peace that I need. And being a very opinionative person, I'm very opinionative, has made me, instead of insulting others, I can just write it down on paper and insult my pages instead. I don't know. I'm a very outgoing person, so I'm easy to talk to.
So what you're saying is that what you're saying and what you want people to see and what you want people to know about you as an artist is that you tell stories. Now, when you have challenges, you turn them into stories. When you're happy, you turn them into stories. When you have hardship, you turn them into story. When you want to be seen, you turn them into stories. So we are saying today that story do matters. So I just want to say thank you to all my authors that have come in today to chat with me. Thank you to you, Pauline Hansen. Thank you so much. Thank you, Janetti Barretti. Thank you, Marcia M. Spains. And thank to you, Sabrina Glancy Fancy. Thank you so much for coming in. It's been a fantastic evening. I've enjoyed every moment with every one of you. I have to say, and I want you guys to say it with me, story do matters. So can we have everybody's, I'm going to stop sharing now, and I'd like to have everybody screen on, and we can all say, and so again, I'm going to say a very big thank you. Thank you, Pamela, for joining us. I know you're coming in tomorrow to share with us. I can't wait till tomorrow. I just hope that, I pray that I'm going to be alive and healthy to share it with you, those moments with you. Like I said, our story do really matters. It's good to share our story. Thank you, Sabrina, for joining us. Thank you, Pauline, for sharing your story, for reading those poems to us. Thank you, Marcia, for coming on the platform. Thank you very much, Bolaji, for joining us. Thank you, Janet Barrett. I know you're busy over there. You're an artist, you're an author, you're a songwriter, you're everything in one. You just fill us up to this evening. Thank you, Claudia, my manager. Thank you for being supportive. Thank you for watching over the social media. Thank you for watching over the chat box. Thank you for walking along with me to moderate the evening. And it's always good to see you here, Bolaji. It's good to have you. Now, before we go, I'm just going to give you an opportunity. Do you want to ask any of our authors any question? How do they become an author, or what is it about writing that they love so much and they decide to put it in a book? What is it about sharing stories that is important to them that they decided that story do really matter? So I'll give you a moment to say something. So I'm waiting on you, Bolaji. Just a moment for you. If you want to throw any question to all our authors, if you want to say, what is it about being a story writer? What is it? Why does it matter to share our stories? Why the story matters?
Thanks for having me, and again, thanks to everyone that's spoken up until this moment. It's been a pleasure listening to you guys. I'm sorry I came in a bit late, but I caught everything with Sabrina and the other lady that spoke before Sabrina. And I have to say, I totally respect you guys because I've been trying to sit down to write. I have an imagination of how to write. I have a perspective of what I want to write. I cannot bring myself to sit down to write it. So when things like this is just like an inspiration for me to say, you can do it. Come on, just try. It's just always for me though. I think the question I want to ask you, Sabrina, is that the question for me is, I feel like I'm always going to miss a part, and I don't want to miss that part in that story. If I'm ever going to write a book, I don't know if that makes any sense. So say there's an incident that happened, but then you write it down, and then just maybe when you print it, you remember, oh my God, I didn't put that part.
You know what you do? Because that happens to, I think that may happen to a lot of people because it happens to me. What I do is, if I have a thought in my head and it doesn't correlate with the page that I'm on, I write it down, and I write it down while I'm writing. Say you're using your laptop, you write it on the page, and just write it on the second page. And once you're writing, you'll figure out where it goes next. So write it down, regardless. Don't leave it, because you will end up forgetting. You'll end up forgetting and have to think of, oh, what did I want to put in there? Write it down on the page. So even while you're writing your story, write it down on the second page or wherever you're at, and just continue writing until you feel the need to add it in.
Perfect.
That's the best advice I could give you.
Yeah, Pamela, do you want to say something to that?
That's the other question I have.
Okay.
The other question I have then is that writing is a big thing for me anyway, so I'm always going to try and be weird about it. But any of the authors, of course, can answer this. I'd appreciate to hear from anyone there actually. But at what point do you get up and say, okay, I'm going to write this. I am actually going to go all out and write this. I just write a book and print it off and everything like that. It's a big deal to me. I don't know.
I think I'm going to get Pauline. I'm going to get Pauline. Pauline, are you still there with us? Because Pauline, when she was talking, she told us about how she had papers all over the house. She was writing everywhere in the house, and she was just leaving them on the floor. And then she fell in love with someone, and then he came over and was like, why you have all this all over the place? And he was like, you have to do something with it. So I think you should take that question.
Okay, thank you for asking that question, Bolaji. Well, for me, is I have a notepad by the bed. If it's not on the bedside table, it's on the floor, and there's pens beside there. So when an idea comes into my head, I am writing down, or if I feel a little bit energetic, I'm on the PC, I come in, or the other alternative, get your phone, everyone's got a mobile phone, record it. And that moment is sealed. It's sealed. and then you can go. Yes, Apology. You can revisit it. You can revisit it and expand.
Right.
So yeah, that's what. Make sure when you go to bed tonight, you have a notepad there. If it's not on the floor, it's on your bedside table, and make sure you have your pens there too.
Yeah, I think Sabrina wants to add something to that. Do you want to add something to that, Sabrina?
Yeah, I was going to say, procrastination is a writer's biggest enemies. Our hugest enemy, procrastination. We tell ourselves, "Oh, we're going to write tomorrow." I do it too. Don't get me wrong, I do it also. I'm terrible for it, but you have to put in your mind, "Oh, I'm going to take 10 minutes." If, like Pauline says, write it all. If you wake up in the middle of the night, like I do, at 4 a.m. and something's in my head, or I had a dream, I write it down quickly and go back to sleep. And then when I get up, I'm like, "Oh, I have a book and it's filled with nonsense." If you go through it, it's just a bunch of nonsense to you, to everyone else. But to me, that's when I dream that, and I can put that in my book. And by the time I'm finished, one page is already finished. And I've already got the plot. I've got the middle of the book. I've got it just needs this and then adding to it to make it into a book. So don't think you need to specify a time for yourself to do the writing. Writing's got to be something that you do because it's fun. If you force yourself to sit down and be regimented, if you can work like that, then go for it. But for myself, I see writing as my pastime, as my fun time. It's something I do to, cheer myself up, to make myself relax, make myself feel.
So I'm going to say thank you, Sabrina. Thank you so much for that. I'm going to give you, Pamela, just a minute to say something. I know tomorrow is your moment, but I'll give you that moment. Just say something to that question. And I'm going to get Janette Barrett to close the evening for us. Just to give, Janette, are you ready? You're going to close the night for us and just seal us out tonight. I want to hear your voice again. So go ahead, Pamela, say something about that. Because you've been writing a lot of things in the chat box.
Yeah. Hi, good evening, everyone. It's been a wonderful evening listening to all of your poetry and to hear about your book journeys. I think this month, November, is National Novel Month. And it's an opportunity to join different challenges and different groups, and they feed off of each other and do a writer's prompts, which could help get people started on their own writing journey. So I thoroughly encourage people to take part in some of the activities which are happening this week. Also, the country goes into lockdown from Thursday, as we know. And I wrote my second novel, Loving the Sisters, during lockdown. So it's about how you use your time wisely while you're in the house, while you're off work, while you're, while your normal day-to-day activities have been disrupted, just to get out a pen and piece of paper and start writing. So I really do want to encourage whoever's listening to this Zoom call, you have to start. Just start. You don't need fancy software. You don't need a laptop, a pen and a piece of paper, and start to write your ideas down. And the whole point of having editors and other people who can look at your work is that they will say something is missing. They will say you need to talk about this, or why not include that. So rely on other professionals and people around you to help you get your book completed. And the rest I'll say tomorrow.
Thank you so much. Like we said, our story do matters. Janette Barrett, are you ready to just sail us through the night?
Yeah, well, this was very unexpected, but yes, I didn't get a chance to do a reading or anything, but I had something.
Will you do that now? Will you do that for us?
Well, it's not from my books, but this is something very current, okay? So I'll change my voice for this as an actor. I just want to go to school, man, and see my friends then properly. I'm fed up of the Zoom thing, Skyping, FaceTime thing. I want to see them in my time. I want to see them properly. I just want to go to school, man, and see my friends then properly. You get me? I got my blazer, my pens and my tie, and 4 different masks, but I don't know why. All I would say of my friends them is just the two eyes. I just want to go to school, man, and see my friends them properly. Do I bring my four? I mean, what about the corridor and eating in the dining hall? I get the wash hands, sanitising thing, but ban face covering. So what do I bring? I just want to go to school, man, and see my friends them properly. Why can't Boris make up his mind? He got the coronavirus thing, didn't he? So why ban school face covering? Sure, what a sing-ting. That's what my mum keeps saying. All I'm saying is, I want to see my mates at the gates walking freely, no elbow, foot tap or side glancing. I just want to go to school, man, and see my friends then properly, you get me? So what's it going to be then, Boris? Face covering or no face covering? Lockdown thing or no lockdown thing? Make your mind up, Boris. Make your mind up quickly.
Thank you so much, Janet Everett. Thank you so much for that. It is so beautiful. Thank you so much. And
you're welcome.
Yes, and this is how we end our evening to everyone out there that is watching or listening to us. This is about celebrating African History Month. This is about celebrating African Caribbean authors here. This is about saying Hajj story do matters. And thank you to the Arts Council for funding this project, for partly supporting this project. And thanks to the Afro in the Diaspora Center as well, for creating this platform for us to be able to flourish and to share our story with the world. And again, thank you to Claudia. Thank you very much for being on the platform, for being an observer, for moderating the social media for me. I really appreciate your time and effort. And thank you, Bolaji, for coming in as an observer. Thank you, Pamela Hale. We're looking forward to sharing a moment with you tomorrow. Thank you so much. And thanks to all the authors. Thank you, Sabrina. Thank you, Janet. Thank you, Pauline. And to the publishing house, Marcia M. Publishing House. Marcia was with us. Marcia M. Spence was with us this evening. Thank you so much. And to myself, my beautiful self, I say thank you. Thank you, guys.